Hey everybody, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Today is March the 10th, 2018, and you are looking at my Phalaenopsis schilleriana in bloom, and I just really love this little flower. It has developed the nicest little fragrance. It took over a week of being in bloom before I could smell anything, but I went into the grow room this morning and oh man, it was so nice and sweet. I said, where did this come from? So let's look at it. Let's kind of get a little bit closer. I've got it next to the window here to kind of get some natural light and try to make it look nice, but isn't it wonderful? Look at the shape of those flowers. Look at that little yellow patch in the middle, the beautiful spotting on it, and of course that cute little mustache at the bottom. It almost looks like it looks like some kind of a hairstyle, like a cartoon character's hairstyle or a dress. They're just so cute. I love those flowers. It also has lovely leaves. Now I am not going to offer any advice on how to grow this thing because I haven't figured it out yet. When I bought it last year, about this time last year actually, it had 4 leaves on it. Was it last year? No, it was 2 years ago. It had 4 leaves on it, and it's put out a couple leaves since then, but as you can see, the newest leaf on it is actually smaller than the previous leaf. So something's not quite right. Last year it also put out 13 flowers. This year it's down to 7. So yeah, I have got to work on figuring out what this little guy needs before I'm going to start telling anybody what they need to do to grow it. If anybody is better at growing this plant than I am, I would definitely be interested in hearing what you do for it and what you think it likes. Alright, now we're getting back under the artificial light so you can see the colors quite different under the light. What else have we got to look at? Of course, my little callosum over here is still in bloom. And my phone's ringing, so I'll come back in a second after I answer that. Okay, we're back. And I just wanted to show you on my Pav callosum. Look down here. Look at that. Another bud. Bud number 2. So I don't know if they'll be both in flower at the same time, but I'm pretty impressed. First bloom seedling, 2 flowers. Very, very nice. Also, I wanted to show you my magic lantern down here. Not only does it have very pretty leaves, and I grew this little guy from a seedling. It was just, you can see kind of the old leaves, how small they were down at the bottom. But it is pushing something up. I don't know, could be a sheath. Maybe Magic Lantern will be blooming this year too. If you've ever seen this, it is the cutest puffy pink flower. It is wonderful. Cannot wait. Hope that does bloom this year. It'll be great. All my little slippers are looking good. And they've got that telltale swelling down here at the base. And all of them have it, and you can see that they're kind of like the newest, leaf is very small. This one's kind of pushing up here. They've all kind of, got some swelling down there at the bottom, and I am just wondering if every single one of them isn't going to bloom this year. That would be a show, wouldn't it? Also, let's look at Oncidium maculatum. It's got this wonderful long spike that's got branches coming out on it. OMG. Last year it didn't bloom at all. I am a little concerned that there might be some kind of an infection in there, but well, we'll see. Also, it's got ferns and stuff poking up in the pot, which I'm actually very happy about. But then I didn't realize it actually has 2 spikes. It's got that big long one, and it's got a smaller one here. So this is the best. This is the biggest bloom it's ever given me. Thank you, Oncidium, for doing that. This is Phragmipedium grande. And look at these eyelashes it's got here. Isn't it pretty? Beautiful. Speckled pouch. Nice size to it there. Stripes, lines, ridges, ruffles. And this is the old But this is where the old flower was. It dropped right off, and this one is going to be dropping off probably in the next few days too. But it's got lovely, nice long petals. I've been very, very pleased with this. And it's got a new growth on it in the back there, well on its way, and maybe that will be blooming this time next year. Another oncidium I've got is this speckled spire, and it seems to have reached the height that it's going to reach. It doesn't seem to be growing any taller, so now I'm starting to look at the individual little nodes here. You can tell they're kind of covered with sticky stuff. But I'm looking at swelling occurring here, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we're going to see it start pushing out branches, and this whole thing should be covered in branches and flowers. Man, these things take forever. They take so long, but it's an interesting process to watch them develop. Let's see. Oh, my Cycnodes One Delight, one of my catasetum types down here, is putting out new growth there. Lots of roots, and I did cave and water it a little bit. I just couldn't help it. I did give it some water the other day, so we're going to keep an eye on that, and hopefully it will be doing better this year than it did last year. Phal, the bulbophyllum, has just closed a flower. Kind of missed it because it happened during the week, but there's one right there coming out. Focus. And then there's another one over here that is getting ready, kind of rotating, and it's going to be blooming soon too. And those have just done well. The leaves are slowly dying. I mean, this has been 2 or 3 months. It's been slowly dying off, but that's okay. They are starting to put out new growth, and I'm okay just to let them keep blooming. My Medusa is very, let's see, what's the word? Not exciting. Anticlimactic, perhaps, would be the best word there. But after pushing out all these buds this year, they've just kind of given up. And it's interesting, they finally started, the ones that did push out, they started pushing out when the temperature dropped again. So I don't know if it was just an issue with temperature or I don't know. But anyway, this is getting split up in the next month or so. As soon as those flowers wilt, I'm going to split this thing up. So maybe it heard me talking about that and they didn't like that idea. But what else have we got? Oh, this little Nepenthes down here. It's not an orchid, but I'm very, very happy with it. It's putting out a really nice new big pitcher on the side there, and it's got one on the side, on the left side there. You can't really see very well. It's got wonderful striping, and man, I don't want to piss off you Nepenthes growers, but at least the ones that I have, I've just got a couple of them, and they're so much easier than orchids. They're so much easier. So, I just think if you want to try something unusual, it's not as difficult as some orchids. I think you could try Nepenthes and be happy. Myciella monticola has finally wilted, and I'm going to tell you something I did. It's got this long spur, right, that's full of nectar, and what I did was I bit off the end of it and sucked the nectar out of the little spur there. Is that weird? It probably is weird, but you know what? I just wanted to know what it tasted like. So it had kind of a sweetish, but not as sweet as I thought it would be. Kind of sweet, almost like a greeny sweet flavor, like an unripe banana or something. But it was interesting, to say the least. So that hopefully will bloom again next year, but now it is in growth mode. It's putting out some new leaves, and I might repot it because it does seem to be kind of, I don't know, it doesn't look to be in a very nice potting situation here. So that's all for the green room. Let's go upstairs and see what's going on with everything else. Okay, here's my little upstairs grow room, and we looked at these last week. Got some Phalaenopsis putting out some new buds. New buds here, new spike here. White flowers, pink flowers. This little mini, kind of talked about last week. Those flowers don't last very long at all. Look, one's already wilted. It's been like two weeks and that's it. But it's still lovely, lovely little flowers. Love those, wonderful. Lots of roots. Let's see, this one was one of my rescues. And it's put out these nice flowers. And if you look at my summer video from last summer, you can see that the flowers in the summer are totally different. They're more of a pink color. With they don't have as many splotches on them, or the splotches are smaller. And these are more purple in the winter time. That's interesting how temperature affects the color. And this one was a gift a couple years ago, and it's got lovely, lovely yellow and pink flowers on it, and it just kind of keeps blooming on spikes that just keep growing out. But it does need some tender loving care. It has dropped several leaves. This just doesn't look good at all. It needs to be taken out, needs to be cleaned up, put in fresh medium, but I don't feel like doing it right now. This is Clivia or Clivia miniata, the bush lily from South Africa. I think it's related to Amaryllis, the hippeastrums, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. And it is putting out its spring bloom. It is not as big as last year. Last year it was not very happy. It was inside and it was hot in here, and I think it was too hot and too sunny for it. Didn't like that. But it recovered nicely. It's putting out some nice pretty new leaves, and it is blooming anyway, so it's going to have a few nice flowers on that. And they don't last very long, but they are a wonderful way to bring in the spring. And of course my poinsettia is still in bloom. It's been doing this for a couple months now, and happy about that. I have trouble getting this thing to hold on to leaves, especially in the summer. It seems to drop a lot of leaves, and I don't really know why. I mean, I keep it watered, but the ones you get from the store at Christmas time, you know, they've got big, fat, luscious leaves, and you know, these leaves are small and skimpy, and they kind of fall off. So I don't know, any of you poinsettia experts, I'd be interested if you had some advice for me. All right, last thing we're gonna do, if you're interested, I'm gonna show you some of my outdoor plants because it is spring, things are popping out, and I just wanted to share that with you. This is something that brings me a lot of happiness, to seeing my outdoor plants start to come into growth for the year. So let's go outside. Okay, and I don't know if you can hear, but of course, as soon as I decide I'm going to come outside, my neighbor decides he's gonna mow. It's March the 10th. It's cold outside. The grass is not growing, but he's gonna mow his yard. Okay, well, you know what? I don't feel like waiting for him to finish to make an outdoor video, so I will update you guys on what's going on in my outdoor garden next time. And so until then, I hope that spring is springing where you are, if you're in the northern hemisphere, and I guess you southern hemisphere friends are experiencing the last little bits of summer and are getting ready to go into the autumn. So that's cool. I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by. My name is William Green, and happy growing.